Hey, what's up, everybody? Fred Minnick here, and today I'm going to review the Woodford Reserve American Single Malt. What's funny about this is I just did a Club Marzipan taste camp on single malts, and I had no idea that this was in my office. Like, if I had known that this box was in my office, I would open it, and that would have been a part of my tasting. So that's kind of funny, actually. But it was in here. I'll show you. It was in this tiny little box in the far corners of my office, really hidden, and it's kind of a miracle I found it because my office is an absolute shit show. It's really messy, and that's because of me, because I think you could say I got a lot of bottles in my office. But you're not here to listen to me opine about the cleanliness of my office. You want to hear about what I think about this bourbon. Single malt, yeah. So it should be noted that the American Single Malt is actually now a federally approved term. And this particular product would meet all those specifications, even though it was distilled 12 years ago. So this is a 12-year-old American Single Malt. It is 100% malted barley, triple pot distilled, and aged in used whiskey barrels for 12 years. It has an SRP of $99.99, $100, and it comes in 375 milliliter bottles, and it has a proof of 90.4. Now, here's the thing about American Single Malt. What I have found is that most bourbon drinkers actually do not like American Single Malts. So, if that is you, one way or another, put in the comments if you like American Single Malts and tell me why. Now, most people who subscribe to this channel or watch me kind of on the periphery probably saw this as about a single malt and they're like, "Yeah, man, I don't want to watch that now. It's not a bourbon. I need hazmat. I need a cast strength." So we probably won't get their commentary anyway, unless they want to come in and hear my Southern Baptist preacher accent, which is sometimes they will come here just for that. But today is probably not that day. Anyway, so let's go ahead and get to this tasting. Once again, this is a little over 90 proof, which, from my perspective, I'm kind of becoming a bigger fan of these lower ABV products. I mean, the market is just absolutely flooded with hazmat and cast strength. It's just like, oh my God, can you all slow the roll here? Can we get back to 90 proof or 100 proof? 107. I think there's too much of a trend of trying to capture the people who want cast strength. So anyway, by the way, college wrestling season started, and I'm pretty excited. Look at that. Go Pokes right there. Go Pokes. Oklahoma State Cowboys. You can see the wrestling headgear behind me. And also go Bellarmine Knights. Okay. Well, it noses like a feed store. So anyone who's ever grown up in the agricultural community, you'll always see there is the small county general store right next to it. It's usually like a feed store. And you've kind of seen them populate the naming of the feed stores be populated into urban areas. It'll say something feed and seed, and it's a friggin' restaurant. And it's like, come on, man. Feed and seeds are meant for the rural communities where you actually go in and you buy a 50-pound bag of sweet feed to take care of your horse, or you go in there and get ivermectin to give your lamb a shot, which of course now ivermectin is all tied into the COVID thing and all that crap. But truth is, I was injecting ivermectin and pouring ivermectin over the backs of livestock when I was growing up, and we would always go to the feed store to get our sacks of feed for our animals. And this smells like I'm walking right in to the Jones feed store, or what was the one in Hera, Oklahoma? It was a Polish name. It was something feed and seed. That one That one was a little bit more prominent. Anyway, so that smell typically is like oats, molasses, and like kind of like a general vitamin smell. So it's not like Flintstone vitamins, but like a general pharmacy kind of like mixed in with oats. So if you know the smell of a feed store, that's what this is. I almost don't want to taste it because I want to keep smelling it. It's taking me back to my childhood. Riding it in the back of my grandpa's pickup truck to go get feed. Good times when I was a kid. Love those times. Well, my first impression is it is not balanced. I normally like to see how something feels on my tongue. And it just, I can't, there's like a big alcohol note there. Anytime there's a big alcohol note, it's like, oh boy, you got a problem. So I'm going to try to get past that and taste it again. But it definitely does not smell or does not taste like it smells. Okay. So it is absolutely 1,000% grainy. There's some, the oak is, even though these went into used barrels, the oak notes are magnificent. They're very powerful. And then there's alcohol. I'm not getting any kind of like single malt notes I'm looking for. Like when I'm tasting a single malt, I'm hoping I get some honey. I'm hoping I get some grapefruit. Hoping I get some kind of citrus overall. Definitely some sweetness, maybe to see if there's going to be something from the barrel there. The barrel is there. It's just quite a bit like overpowering. I get grain, I get oak, and I get alcohol. When we look at single malts, right? I don't think this is hitting the mark. I'm not quite sure where this falls in the grand scheme of single malts, but I would say it'd be on the lower end. Yeah, I'd probably finishes with like grain notes. I'm pretty low on this. A few years ago, gosh, it's actually a decade ago, Woodford came out with Woodford did a release they did a 5 malt release, and it was probably the low at that point of my career. It was the lowest score in the history of Whiskey Advocate. So this was when I was reviewing whiskeys for Whiskey Advocate, and I gave the lowest score in the publication's history. It was 60 points, and we were not allowed to go below 60. I probably would have if I could have back then, but it was like awful. And now I've kind of changed. Like how I do my ratings. It's, to me, is if something that is 60 is still drinkable. Okay, it's not a drain pour. I mean, someone's out there is gonna like it. If I rate something below a 60, I will tell you that it is. I don't think it's drinkable and should be taking off the shelves. Because I don't think it's like that kind of bad. But I will say that this is better than the Woodford Reserve 5 malt I tasted a decade ago, which still leaves horror thoughts in my brain of how bad a whiskey can taste. And I'm going to say that this is probably, going to fall in the wheelhouse of someone who genuinely likes oak and genuinely likes the pure flavor of grain and the smell of a feed store. If you are that person, this may actually be your dream whiskey. But for me, it lacks balance. It lacks like a dominant, nice note, and it just feels all over the place on the palate. Not in a good way. I don't mean like all over the place like it's mouth coating. I mean it's just like it doesn't concentrate anywhere. It's just kind of weird, which happens often when I taste something that I feel is alcohol forward. So I'm going to give this a 65. It's drinkable. 5 points up from the 5 malt that I scored 60 many years ago. But I do not recommend it if you are a typical bourbon drinker or typical American single malt drinker. I do recommend it on if you like big oak notes and if you like grain and you like the smell of a feed store. But that's going to do it for this review. Hey, make sure you all are checking out me on Club Marzipan. I've got a link in my description if you want to come join me in my Patreon community. I also have a new book coming out. It hits the stores in February. It's called Bottom Shelf. It is, I open my heart up. I tell my life story and how I got into bourbon and what it was like to recover from the war in Iraq when I got home. So I hope you check it out. I'm very excited about this book, and I can't wait to share that story with you. That's going to do it for this review. Be safe out there. And remember, vodka sucks. Go Pokes, go Knights. It's college wrestling season. If you're not a fan of wrestling, check it out. It is the greatest sport in the world. Cheers.